The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. These powerful words are from 2 Corinthians 10:4-5. This verse was a game changer for me. For years, I struggled with negative thoughts. I'm not good enough. I'll never change. God can't use me. Those thoughts felt so real, so overwhelming. But then I read this verse and realized, I don't have to accept those lies. I have the power to take them captive and replace them with God's truth. The enemy loves to plant thoughts in our minds, thoughts of fear, doubt, shame, and insecurity. But here's the truth. Those thoughts don't belong to you. You don't have to let them stay. Take them captive. Replace them with God's promises. For example, when the enemy says, "You're not good enough," you say, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Psalm 139 verse 14. When he says, "You'll never change," you say, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Philippians 4 verse 13. Strongholds start in the mind, but they can be demolished, starting today. Isaiah 54 verse 17. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Have you ever felt attacked? Maybe it's by people, by your own thoughts, or even by the enemy. This verse is your declaration of freedom. It says, "No weapon formed against you will prosper." Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I went through a really difficult season at work. I was being criticized unfairly, and it felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't win. I started to believe the lies, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't belong. But then I found this verse. I wrote it on a sticky note and put it on my desk. Every time I felt attacked, I would declare, "No weapon formed against me will prosper." And you know what? Over time, the truth came to light. The criticism stopped, and I was vindicated. But more importantly, I learned this. When you stand on God's word, no weapon, no lie, no accusation, no attack can stand against you. Romans 8, verse 37. No, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like a conqueror, or do you feel defeated? I'll be honest. There was a time when I felt like a failure. I kept falling into the same patterns, the same sins, and I thought, I'll never change. But then I read this verse. We are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. That word "more" changed everything for me. It's not just that we conquer. We are more than conquerors. That means no matter what you're facing, addiction, fear, shame, doubt, you're not just scraping by. You're not barely surviving. You are more than a conqueror. And here's the best part. It's not because of your strength. It's because of His love. His love is stronger than any stronghold, any sin, any fear. So today, whatever you're facing, declare this truth. I am more than a conqueror. John 8, verse 36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. This verse is simple, but it's so powerful. Jesus doesn't offer temporary relief. He offers total freedom. I remember when I first truly believed this. I'd been carrying shame from my past for years. I thought I had to earn God's forgiveness. I thought I had to prove myself. But then I read this verse. If the Son sets you free, you are free indeed. That word indeed means truly, completely, without question. Jesus doesn't set you free halfway. He doesn't set you free temporarily. He sets you free completely. Maybe you're carrying shame, guilt, or regret today. Hear this. You don't have to earn your freedom. Jesus already paid for it. Walk in it today. Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. This verse isn't just a motivational quote. It's a battle cry. When I feel weak, I remind myself, I can do all things through Christ. Not some things, not easy things, all things. Let me share a personal story. Last year, I faced a health scare. I felt weak, scared, and powerless. But I wrote this verse on my mirror and declared it every morning. Slowly, I felt God's strength rising in me. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Whatever stronghold you're facing today, declare this truth. I can do all things through Christ. His strength is yours. Friend, strongholds don't have to define you. You have the power of God's word on your side. Declare these verses over your life. Stand on His promises, and watch as every chain falls. If this message encouraged you, share it with someone who needs freedom today. Let me know in the comment box your favorite Bible verse for fighting strongholds.